The 1st of April, or well better known as April Fools. What a fun day that is. People try playing practical or rather impractical jokes on you, and even worse in the online world, everyone's quitting their main game, everyone's pregnant, or some even change their professions entirely. So I guess it was pretty much inevitable that in order to keep up with what is poppin' right now, I have to make a change. Which leaves only one conclusion: I'm becoming a Fortnite content creator. Well, at least for a day. A decision that leaves a lot of questions, I'm sure. But if this guy can make it here, then maybe the choice of game is actually much more important than your actual content. So I guess after years on the sidelines, it's finally my turn to abuse the fact that the main audience of this game is somewhere between 12 and 12 and a half. Is very gullible and believes my every word, but most importantly for me personally, as now Fortnite content guy, we have exclusive access to their parents' credit card. So let's not waste any more time. Buy all the skins so I get money, but all the while in a little bit of a less cynical approach. Maybe let's actually play the game. Or at least I tried to play it, but I had to skip several cutscenes first, was bombarded with advertisements of all sorts, and long gone are the days of just a few items in the store, as now it kinda looks a bit different here. But no wonder if the game is already preying on small children to spend their money, why wouldn't the creators? Makes sense. Anyways, against all odds I somehow actually make it into the queue, and a little bit of trivia maybe, the skin you see is the very first Battle Pass skin that came out, which is pretty much a accurate time frame on when I played this game for the last time. Back when it was good. So let's load into the lobby. And as much as I've been flaming everyone and everything connected to this game so far, the graphics, they're not bad. Obviously those will not be the graphics we will be playing with because, epic gamer I am. Haha, that's the company name. Double-digit FPS is just not gonna cut it. Waiting for player phase is still the good old AIDS fest I remember. Only one difference, there's less people running around and shooting and more people standing around spamming emotes that for some reason are now all connected to some form of American rap songs. Given there's multiple players at one position, the lobby turns into a in-game incarnation of a .exe video. And again, I see the appeal to the younger audience. Clever. I would love to give you a taste of that, but I'm pretty sure YouTube's copyright system would nuke my channel at an instant, given there is so many songs playing at the same time. There's just no way. So let's do some gameplay instead, shall we? Given this is my first game, I learned that you have to uncover the map first because, well, you haven't played yet. So I take a leap of faith into the unknown and plummet to earth at a reckless speed. Just for my first enemy player encounter to be this: a guy in a building with not a care in the world that he's being shot at. Contrary to that, my second enemy player encounter is one of these skyscraper building guys who then just one-shots me. Yeah, that was my first game. But I wasn't giving up yet and had to learn eventually that my skill of I can build a ramp is in no way a match versus a person that is most likely spending their afternoons in one of these practice tools where you build 24/7. And even in these very rare occasions where I get to actually win one of these fights, I didn't really feel like I was better. But I think the main issue is that I don't agree that the main skill of this game should be maneuvering the chaos of ramps and walls better than your opponent. But sadly, that's the case. But as sad as my journey to this point looks like, things were about to look up, as there is a mode in this game for these weird guys like me who think that in a shooter, the main skill should be shooting. I know, what the hell, crazy concept. So I set out one last time in a Hail Mary attempt of somewhat rectifying this game for myself, and I'm trying out the Fortnite no build mode. And I have to admit, I'm having fun. Truth be told, there still is a lot of awkward stuff, especially, well, a third-person shooter by default is just a meme. But Fortnite, funny enough, embraces the meme perfectly and adds so much nonsense to the game that it actually doesn't matter. And somehow not being able to build is that perfect sweet spot between a fun, casual video game, but you're yet able to actually take it somewhat serious. Truth be told, I might be a little bit biased, given the fact that I cleaned house in the first starting area area, leaving the place with 5 kills to my name. And I might definitely be speaking out of a little bit of a dopamine enriched state right now. Which, by the way, Fortnite is still the masters in supplying you with, because every fucking thing in this game has to make a deafening sound with animation to it. Other than that, I sometimes am really worried about my opponents because... yeah, I don't know what the hell was that. Guess that happens when you try to build. But oh well, all of that leads us into the final circle. 3 players alive. That's where I'm then being shot at from a pile of leaves. You know, speaking of, Fortnite is still a meme, I guess. And then there's maybe still its biggest weakness. Yeah, you can just look around corners and then always get the first shot on a guy. But we were winning this one, so that's okay. Which leaves us in a 1v1 situation, and let me present to you one of the latest item additions to the game. A anime sword that does this. What the fuck? Who thought that was okay? Well, actually I did, because it's the sole reason I don't fall off the building here and end the game right here and then, because I really am untalented at this game, regardless of building or not. Impressive. But all of that pretty much forces my hand. We're out in the open, it's a 1v1 situation, and, well, odds that the guy is yet again in one of these leaves, very high and confirmed. What was a reasonable spot for this guy so far turned out to net him a bunch of damage already. What follows is the good old, well, it's a third-person shooter gameplay. I get a bunch of hits, the guy panics and does, well, the reverse flip, I guess. Instead of saving himself with the sword, he dashes into the zone and dies. And I've learned you're legally required to now BM dance, or else the win doesn't count. And of course, sounds and animations. What wouldn't we do without sounds and animations? How would I ever saturate my dopamine receptors? Thanks, Fortnite. And as much as my earlier narration self would love to say that, well, the game sucks and this is where we end, we go again! Who would have guessed that the winning formula for Fortnite was removing the sweaty kids being busy distracting themselves from their households falling apart by building a mansion in a video game as fast as possible to deny someone else the chance of playing said video game. Or in less aggressive words, Fortnite without building is actually a lot of fun. Not only is now aim being rewarded, as you can't just press mouse 1 and you hope for the bloom to be in your favor, but the higher time to kill through the additional 50 armor definitely benefits the game a lot. But maybe my most favorite part of all of this is strategy now actually matters. Running around like a headless chicken out in the open? Well, try again. You think rotating out of the city in a bike rather than a car is a good move? Well, now you have time to rethink that decision. Or the all-time classic of just running around all the way in the open for no apparent reason. I think you can see where this is going. Which brings me to my most favorite example. This guy jumping off the high ground for whatever reason, now being stuck down there with absolutely no way of getting back up, and he really tried, is now pretty much slowly but surely coming to terms with the fact that there is no way out of here. Until eventually, the only thing possible, the sweet release of death. And at this point, I'm almost getting bored of this dance. In case you couldn't tell, I slightly kept playing the game actually, and it really felt like I was rediscovering a game as if it was new. And over all these years, plenty of mechanics have been added for me to discover. For example, if you're in trouble now, there is a bit of a better sprint, and if you combine that sprint with a jump, you are leaping way further, allowing you to do those cinematic jumps across big obstacles. Yeah, just kidding, this game fucking sucks. April Fool's bitch.